Hi, Neil. Thanks for watching. This is a quick look at how Google views and ranks websites in the search results. By knowing how the program works, we can use it to your advantage to increase the traffic to your site by getting it on the first page, so that way you're the first click and the first call whenever anybody's searching. Now, I've got your website pulled up here, and it looks to be a pretty basic site, which is fine because it gives all the information that a customer will need. The problem is the customers aren't finding the site when they're searching. So the reason being is when Google is going to rank a website, it's going to do so based on two factors. The first is the content. So it doesn't really care much about the layout or what it looks like. It's a computer, so Google is just going to come in and count all the words and text on the page. Generally looking for a minimum of about 1,000 to 1,500 words because it assumes that the more information you have on the page, the more of an expert you are in your field, and the more likely it is to recommend you in search. Now, while it's counting the words, it's also searching for keywords, which should be anything that somebody would type into the search, which is usually going to be a service that you offer and in the area that you offer it in. Now, this is where the number of words really comes into play because you're only allowed to have one keyword for every 100 to 150 words of text on the page. Now, the second way that your website is going to rank in the search results is by the page authority, which is basically a popularity contest with Google. Now, there's two ways to build authority. The first is by getting citations. A citation is any time that your name, address, or phone number is listed in an online directory. These directories include Yelp, Yellow Pages, Better Business Bureau. They're usually free. It just takes some time to find them, register your business, and then enter the information exactly as it's shown in Google. Now, the second way to build authority is through what's called backlinks, which is when another website links or refers back to yours. It basically acts like an endorsement that Google uses to build trust because others are vouching for you. You can kind of look at it similar to a customer review. If your business had 1,000 five-star customer reviews, somebody would think pretty highly of your business. Google is doing the same thing, except it's using other websites to make this judgment. Now, to see how this determines where the website ranks, we go back to our search. The first thing you're going to see come up is what's called the map pack. Now, this area is free to get into. You just need to fill out your Google business profile. It's actually inside your Maps app, so you can do it right from a smartphone. When you're filling out your profile, you want to make sure you include everything that you do, including the services, the area that you offer, and then even your hours of operations. Then you want to continuously add photos that are geotagged within your service area, as well as posts, and upload those to your profile as often as possible. Have customers leave reviews. And then you want to get as many of those citations, your name, address, and phone number. You want to be listed in more directories than anybody else on this list. Underneath this section, this is what we call the organic search results. This is where the higher the authority or the more trust Google has in your site, the higher up in the list it's going to rank. Now, to demonstrate this, I put your website into this tool that I have, and it shows me all the information that Google finds when it crawls your site for the content as well as the authority. Now, just to define these terms, if the local news station did an article on the top 10 best roofing companies in the Niagara Falls area, and in that article, the reader could click a link and it would bring them back to your website, that would be considered one referring site or one referring domain. So as you can see, you don't have any websites that are referring back to yours as of yet. So to put that into context, what I did is I just took some of the top contenders that come up in this search result just to show you what they're doing as far as the authority that their site is bringing and how many pages are referring back to them, which is why they're showing at the top of the list. So not a crazy amount of ground that needs to be made up. Sometimes these are in the hundreds or even thousands, depending on the size of the company. Now, just something to keep in mind, it's not just a matter of the quantity of these links, it's also the quality. They need to be relevant to your profession. So we couldn't go get, like, say, a pizza place linking back to your website because Google understands that you're doing roofing and siding, you're not making pizzas. So even though that would add a website or a domain, that would not add any authority to your site. We would want to be trying to find any kind of directories or blog posts or listings or article sites that have to do with the construction industry and trying to get included on those. Now, if we look over here at your content, unfortunately, you're not being found for any keywords. And the reason being is it has to be what's called an exact match keyword. So people would have to be searching for these exact phrases, which unfortunately they're not. So because you're not being found for any keywords, unfortunately, your business is never going to come up in the search results. So if we were to take a look at some of the competition, these are all the words and phrases that are being picked up on their site. And then you can also see the volume, the number of times per month they're being searched. So this is where we would do some research to find the highest volume keywords relative to the area and the services that you offer, and make sure that those are being included on your website so that you're found in the search results. So for instance, roofing contractors, Niagara Falls. There's 40 people per month searching for this exact phrase. If your page was on the first page of Google search results, 40 people would see your website. And we're usually pretty conservative, and we say that 10% of those will actually click into your site and give you a call. Now, I don't know what the conversion rate is, but let's say only half of those actually become customers and get a roof done. So now you're talking 2 jobs per month just off of one keyword. And then we would do the same thing and repeat the process for all the highest volume keywords in your area and make sure we include those on your website so that way you're always coming up in search for the most highest volume keywords. Now, obviously, each job is a little bit different and the profit margin changes. However, you can see how the number of jobs adding up at the end of the month and the end of the year can definitely increase some revenue and sales for the business. So I hope this information was helpful and it allows you to scale some of your online presence. Please feel free to reach out if you get any questions or if you'd like me to go into any kind of further details. We could also talk about your goals as a business, and I can do some research to find out what it would take for you to reach those. And I love getting feedback as well to find out if information like this was useful for you. So please let me know what you thought. Thanks, and I hope this helps.